American banking system is about to go through a massive, massive shift. And I'm here to tell you guys, August is going to start to really show the cracks in the system. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, business, and lover of God in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. We're getting thousands of messages a day across all platforms. Number one, I will never proactively DM you. Those are all scammers. I will never ask you to send me money on any social media platform. We have an Index Universal Life team, an insurance team, which is in the description down below. We have a wealth protection team. It is free to meet with our team. We also have our Education Academy, where we teach people how to get out of the just over broke system and free themselves by going here and going here. That's in the description down below. Please do not send anybody money on social media, WhatsApp, Telegram. You are not communicating with me. Just want to make sure that's very, very clear. So in the description down below, you can get a free consultation with my wealth protection team. You'll understand that you're talking to them. They'll never ask you to send them money. There'll be a legal insurance contract if you choose to move forward with wealth protection around Index Universal Life. All right, so let's dive right into it, family. So why did I bring that up in the beginning here? I'm going to pause for just a moment and share, I may lose followers for this. And it's very interesting dynamic that I want to share. Lately I've been posting I'm getting emotional, holy cow. Lately, I've been posting my prayers on Twitter. And the way that I look at social media, and the only reason I'm doing this is all I'm doing is expressing on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, what I was already doing. I've been obsessively studying for 17 years the subconscious mind, how the dynamics of this world work. And what I discovered is everything is backwards, everything. In corporate America, I was told as a very young boy and as we're growing up to not talk about what? God and politics. Why? Because you'll get fired or you'll end up in HR's office. So what I decided to do is I decided to create my own ecosystem, and I talk about God all day. I do not pull the straw. I pull the log out of my eye before I pull the straw out of yours. And I'm here to tell you that August, there's going to be a big transition, and we're going to start to see major, major changes in our financial system, spiritual awakenings. Some people are going to be very confused, and some people are going to take advantage of the biggest shift in human consciousness and wealth that you've ever seen. And I'm boldly putting this stuff on videos. I'm putting this stuff on video. People can come back and watch these videos and post about me and clown me for what I'm saying. But I'm boldly standing in this truth. And all I'm here to do is share the information, my speculation on what I think might happen with the markets. But the beautiful thing about human behavior is it's cyclic. It's nothing new under the sun. There's been lesson after lesson, whether you're Christian, whether you believe in Buddha, whatever you believe in. There's a conscious awareness that we've been taught to look in the sky and to look into the sea, and the birds will precede you and the fish will precede you. And this ecosystem, whatever they call them, has pulled us so far out of our body and we're disconnected. The word religion, go translate it. It means connection. So if anything is pulling you outside of who you truly are, internally, the kingdom, love, consciousness, the number one used word in the Bible is agape. It's love. But what are we experiencing right now? The complete opposite. So all I'm showing you is how I did the opposite of everything else. I did the opposite of the banking system. I've done the opposite. When I was told not to speak about God, I boldly professed my love for God. And people think, oh, when I post my prayers on Twitter, they say, you must pray in your closet. Well, I am praying in my closet and I'm putting it on my Twitter. That's why they have an unfollow and a block button. Think about that for just a moment. First, they'll judge you, then they respect you, then they will follow you or abandon you. What you hear in your ear, you must preach on the mountaintop. And when you preach on the mountaintop, there will be mockers, there will be judgment, and then there'll be believers. And those believers, when you're speaking your truth, are your true tribe. You're not out trying to impress everybody or get likes and follows. You're trying to find people who are in alignment with you. Every single person will get to God in a different vehicle. But do we have all these different gods? I don't know. But all I'm sharing with you guys is my experience. And I think that's why it's working out for me, because what you're experiencing is my truth. And I'm aligning myself with people who have the same systems and processes. So it doesn't mean if you don't believe like me that you're wrong. I think you're right because what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes your unconscious activity. You've been taught to wait for a savior when you've already been saved. So the stuff I'm about to present to you, and as I move forward on my YouTube channel, is just facts, figures, numbers, logic based on the research that I've done. It doesn't mean it's right for you. What it is a culmination of hours of research, putting together the puzzle pieces that works for me, my family, and my ecosystem. I don't have the answer for you as a human being. I only have the answer for myself and what helps me feel aligned, what helps me sleep at night. But what I know in my truth is August is going to be a big transition for the world. And on from there, it's going to be the biggest transformation that you've ever seen in human history. All right. So let's dive into the boring stuff, the facts, figures, numbers, logic. Thank you for giving me that time. And if you're still here, I love you guys very much. And I love you if you're not here as well. I love you if you unfollowed as well. I have no judgment on another human being. That's why I say I love you to all the haters. And on Twitter, I got into it this morning. It was interesting. They got me. It not really got me, but I decided to speak back a little bit and would it be clap back? But I clap back with my truth. And I think they're right because their perception is their reality. And I can't change another man or woman's opinion of me. All I can do is be the true me and see who's left. So let's watch this video here. So this is from this is a comment from financial services, financial stability, head of the financial stability. So we're going to watch this video, and I'm going to show you how American banks, basically, it's the same thing, guys. Same thing since the Federal Reserve was created. There's going to be a massive monopolization of the banks. You're going to head into cryptocurrency. You're going to head into a digital currency. It's just a big transition, guys. And there's going to be very few people that take advantage of this. There's going to be the few people that take advantage of it, but also a lot of people that get wrecked in crypto because they're going to develop the greed gene. Rich parents have rich kids. Poor parents have poor kids. You have to rewire the foundation. So let's watch this video.
Stability issues more generally. So what are the areas in which you're focusing now from a financial stability point of view? And also you can say something about how you are trying to somewhat coordinate or ensure that there is sufficient consistency, what different standard setting bodies are actually doing at present.
Okay, so it's important to translate what the hell he just said. So just to give you clarity, this is the policy approach for addressing risk posed by cryptocurrencies and decentralized finance. So he said, what is the messaging you're going to give globally, right, to get everybody on the same track? And this is the Financial Stability Board.
Great. Thank you, Fernando. Thanks for inviting us to talk about our work. Crypto assets, like Martin said, has been taking up a lot of time and mental energy in terms of thinking about what the next step should be. If I can just start with a big picture sort of framework, which I think you're hearing from each of us, I just want to sort of maybe put it into my own words, which is I think there's three things that we probably are all trying to do. You've heard a lot about us trying to agree on minimum standards that can be applied globally. And that's a lot of what you've heard is us working on that. And Martin was just alluding to
So minimum standards that can be applied. I thought crypto's a fraud, guys. That's what you were told by your drunk uncle at the barbecue, right? That's what you're told by your grandma and grandpa and your financial advisor. So if your financial advisor is telling you crypto's a fraud, your tax advisor is telling you crypto fraud, then why is the Bank of International Settlements, the Bank of Banks, working to create global regulation for something that's a fraud? Why would they even be coming up with standards and global regulation if it's a fraud? Be careful who you're listening to.
The second one, which is once we have those in place, we have to work to ensure that those are implemented consistently.
Once we have those in place, not if, not in, once we have those in place, we need to make sure they're implemented consistency. So recheck with your financial advisor.
Around the world. You can't have pockets where it's not implemented. It just doesn't work at that point. And then the third piece is, I think you heard it a few times already, is this is an area that's just changing rapidly. Martin referred to 3 different phases. Neil referred to some changes and how hard it is to categorize things. We have to have a framework in place that ensures that we're going to cooperate, coordinate, and share information. Because once we put these standards in place, we can't just sit back and go, it's done. We have to be talking to each other all the time. So that's the sort of big picture of what we've been working on. In focusing on that first part and agreeing on those standards, what has the FSB done? In 2020, we released our first set of recommendations.
Okay, this is important. 2021, they were just guys. I'm going to keep being facetious around this. How many of you spoke to your financial advisor or your tax accountant that told you cryptocurrency? They're building regulation, family. When they told you cryptocurrency is a fraud, JP Morgan had already been creating their blockchain in 2017. R3, Wells Fargo, Ripple. Okay, everybody's moving to on-demand liquidity, real-time payments.
High-level recommendations, and they were focused on global stablecoin arrangements. In 2022, October of last year, we released a set of recommendations on crypto assets, activities, and markets, a broader set of crypto assets, I guess is the way I would describe it. Again, a high-level set of recommendations. If you look at them, and I'm not going to, please don't ask me to quote all the recommendations. I could try, but I won't get the words right. So, and I'm not going to recite them to you now. But three principles that underlie those, and I think you've probably gotten a sense of this from others as well here. If it's the same activity and the same risk that's involved, the same regulation should be involved. You can't say, well, we're different. If the same risk is there, it's got to be the same regulation. The technology, we've taken a neutral approach. So what is the...
I keep hearing the same language. We want a technological neutral approach, but it's the same language, guys. The Ripple case was all by design to slow down America so that we could slow down the ecosystem in general. Ripple affected the whole ecosystem, not Ripple. The SEC suing Ripple affected the whole ecosystem globally. The reason why is because of this. They were trying to get the framework in place globally so they can do a systematic launch.
Underlying technology, again, it goes back to that first principle. If it winds up with the same risk, I don't care what the technology is underneath. So we have been technology neutral in the recommendations that we put out.
Who does that sound like? You can find speeches of Gary Gensler over and over, technology neutral.
And then the FSB, because we're trying to sort of provide this coordinating envelope, our recommendations are high level. They're not going to give you specific nitty-gritty standards and guidance. That's what my colleagues here are working on. So they're high level and they're designed to be flexible. Different jurisdictions are going to have different situations and circumstances into which they want to apply those recommendations. So hopefully...
To which they want to apply those recommendations. Not if, not when. If, not when, not if, when. It's wild, family. It's just wild, the absolute manipulation.
We've met those. So where are we? In October 2022, we sent these two sets of recommendations, which are supposed to be a comprehensive set of recommendations for the supervision and regulation of crypto assets. We sent them to the G20 as our draft set of recommendations, and we also released them for public consultation. So they were out for several months on that. The consultation was largely supportive, and we're about to release the revised final recommendations. They'll go to the G20, which is meeting in about 2.5 weeks. The revisions, I think you'll see that most of the revisions reflect events that have taken place in crypto asset markets over the past 6 to 9 months.
Okay, so I'll let you go watch this video, okay? So August is going to be massive, guys. Spiritually, financially. So what is the financial, excuse me, that was a financial stability report. He was the head, right? It says promotes and coordinates information exchange among authorities responsible for financial stability. They set guidelines for establishing and supporting supervisory colleagues. They support contingency plans for cross-border crisis mitigation, particularly with regard to systematically important firms. They collaborate with the International Monetary Fund to conduct early warning exercises. They promote member jurisdictions' implementation of agreed commitments, standards, and policies and recommendations through monitoring, implementation, peer review, and disclosure. Who is the G20? The G20 is meeting, I think, in August, and that's when there's going to be a big transition. They're walking in there with the BIS recommendations, the financial services, the financial stability board's recommendations. The G20 is Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, and European Union. And this came out from CNBC. The American banking landscape is on the cusp of a systematic shift. Expect more pain. This is what I want you guys to see. I'll read this to you. It says rising interest rates will deepen and loosen on securities held by banks, motivated savers to pull cash from accounts, squeezing the main ways these companies make money. This is exactly what I've been preaching for 2 years. Losses on commercial real estate and other loans have just begun to register for banks, further shrinking in their bottom line. Regulators will turn their sights on mid-sized institutions after the collapse of Silicon Valley exposed supervisory lapse. What is coming will likely be the most significant shift in American banking landscape since the 2008 financial crisis. Many other countries, 4,672 lenders will be forced into the arms of stronger banks over the next few years, either by force of regulators, according to dozens of executives, advisory investment bankers who spoke with CNBC. You're going to have a massive wave of mergers and acquisitions among smaller banks because they need to get bigger, said the CEO president of top 6 U.S. bank, who declined to be identified, speaking candidly about the industry's consolidation. We're the only country in the world that has this many banks. Problem, reaction, solution. Whoever creates a problem, creates a reaction, comes up with the solution. We are now heading into regulation and joining phase. The greatest missed opportunity in human history. The fact is, you must have an exit plan. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. There is no get rich quick. And the key factor is 2024 to 2025 to start exiting these markets, securing your wealth. What is your retirement number? What do you want to retire with? In the next 3 years is going to be so critical because you could transform your family's timeline, but you have to rewire the foundation in order to end up in a new situation. That's what I've been teaching over 6,800 warriors. There's only one warrior out of 100, only one, because we're so deeply indoctrinated. Everything is backwards. They told us not to talk about God or politics and corporations, the corpse. Well, look at the end result. Look where we are, family. You have to start doing the opposite of the 99%. We can't just say that's the way it's always been. Well, guess what? This is the way it ended up. And I'm telling you, I'm here to put it on paper. I'm here to put it on video. The biggest transformation is starting in August. And you're going to see some of the biggest transformations, and inaction is action. No decision is a decision. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Everything is in the description down below in this video. If you'd like to sit with our Index Universal Life team, remember, we will never ask you to send us money ever. You will go through a legal insurance contract. You will understand. We don't have an investment platform. Don't send people money. Okay. We're not DMing you to send us money. We will not communicate with you on social. They are actually using AI of my voice. That's how crazy it's getting. So no influencer. I hope they're not asking you to send you money off social. I hope they're running true ecosystem. You will know when you're communicating with us. We love you. We appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.